Have you ever wondered what happens on a motorcycle launch? Question like, do journos get paid off? What kind of riding is there and how do they get that amazing footage? Well, I was lucky enough to be invited on a launch recently and I documented the whole thing. G'day everyone, it's Curtis here and welcome to an On The Back Wheel video. If you haven't, please check out my other content and hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel. Alright, let's talk about this motorcycle launch. I was recently invited on a 2-day launch for the new Triumph Trident in Melbourne, Victoria. I live in Brisbane, and for those who don't know Australia very well, that is about 1800 kilometers away from Melbourne. To get there, I had to fly down the night before and stay at a local hotel. G'day everyone and welcome to Melbourne. I've just checked into my hotel room and it is about 10 o'clock or 10:30 at night now and I'm absolutely knackered. It's been a big day. Looking forward to the next couple of days though. I'm gonna have a good sleep tonight and get up early in the morning, have some breakfast, then get into this launch. I'm really keen to see what's involved and to ride this Trident. I liked it last time I rode it, but I didn't love it, so I'm hoping they change the things that I didn't really love. Alright, time for a good sleep and we'll get stuck in tomorrow. Morning everyone, I've had a half decent sleep. I'm all dressed and ready to go. Got my new riding jeans on, got my boots there. This is what I packed. Not much, just a small suitcase with all my riding gear and camera gear and change of clothes, jacket, and then helmet with my vlogging setup. Alright, let's go have some brekkie, then head to Peter Stevens and check out these bikes. After getting ready and having breakfast, I was picked up from the hotel and went to meet everyone. There was a photographer, videographer, 5 journos, well 4 and myself, a lead rider, sweep rider and 2 support vehicles.
My Triumph thing is standard, yes. So that gives a fair quite approximately switch gears. I believe so, yes.
The plan? To ride and film for the day before staying at a hotel where there would be a presentation on the bike and a meeting with Triumph. And the next day involved some more riding and filming before bringing the bikes back. So here we are at the Triumph Trident launch. You can see them here behind me. They look really nice. The paintwork is fantastic. I'm keen to see how the updates go. Righto, let's get stuck in. The first day had some pretty cruisy riding and allowed me to get used to the bike. There were also numerous photo shoots. At first they were bizarre. What happens is one of the support cars goes ahead with the videographer and photographer and they get into position on the side of the road. Where, well, that varies a lot, and as someone who doesn't know the area or what they were doing, I stuffed up my first few photo shots.
That's better.
I'd be turning on my GoPro or riding with one hand off the bars and boom, there they are taking photos.
First photo shoot down. First time I've done it. Bit strange. But after a couple passes, you know, just forget about it and try and ride like you normally ride. It was a strange corner though. It was a double apex. And they changed their camera position each time. They were in slightly different spots. So, I don't know, you just gotta ride like you normally would.
Once I did a few though, I figured it out. Hell, I even enjoyed it.
Do a wheelie out of this and come back.
So here we go, pressure's on now.
Thank you.
See how my wheelie is under pressure. After the car.
After stopping for lunch, it was time for filming. This time was something very different. Tracking shots. What are tracking shots, you ask? Basically, you follow a car bloody close and they film. Look, I'll show you. This is weird to do initially. I mean, a Triumph Trident is much faster than a standard car, so you're trying to look all cool and natural, but really I wasn't riding as fast as I usually would, and you've got to pose a fair bit. The result though is pretty epic. After a day of filming, easy riding and getting to know the bike, we headed to the accommodation for the evening, which was bloody nice. I'm here at our accommodation for the evening, the foothills of Mount Buller. Had a good day of riding, got plenty of footage. We stopped a fair few times to stop and for the professional cameramen to actually shoot us riding. And there's some other cool footage where we had to get up close while they're hanging out the back of the van. That was really cool doing that. Something I've never done before. That was a lot of fun. And tonight we have a presentation on the motorcycle and then a Q&A with Triumph over in England and also Triumph Australia, where we can ask questions about the bike and go into a bit more detail. And after that we'll have some dinner and then see what's in store for us tomorrow. All dressed up, ready to go to the presentation and ask Triumph some questions. Better think of some, hey? And probably have a few schoonamis, hopefully. We'll see how we go. Beautiful place though. We had an in-depth breakdown of the changes to the bike and also a chance to speak with Triumph in England and pick their brain. It was actually fascinating and it gives you a real insight as to why they make changes. Then it was time for dinner and a few cordials. Now, the initial plan was to get up before sunrise, ride to a location and do a photo shoot, but the weather had other plans and we didn't have enough fuel. Fine by me because I bloody hate mornings, and we could have a few more cordials. Morning everyone and welcome to Merrijig, I believe the suburb is pronounced. We're staying at the Seabull Hotel. It's really nice, as you can see by the surroundings that I'll show you outside. Going for breakfast and then we're hitting up the Twisties today and then doing a fair bit of filming. And I'm going to do, they call it my piece to camera. I'm going to do that after I hit the Twisties because I want to get a bit more of a feel for the bike through the corners. Because I thought the last one was a little bit understeery, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, super nice place. Had a few drinks last night after dinner. Feeling good though, had a bit of sleep. Time to have some brekkie and hit the Twisties. Very much looking forward to the Twisties. Yesterday was a good mix, but a fair bit of highway and filming, so it'd be good to really just enjoy the bike and get a feel for it. Day 2 had some amazing riding and I really got a chance to gel with the bike. It also had the most daunting part of the weekend, my first piece to camera. I'm used to filming at home by myself, so doing it in front of experienced journalists and Triumph managers, well, I was pretty bloody nervous. Nice being a sook though, sometimes you just gotta jump in and get it done. In 2025, the Trident has been updated and it really needed to be because the competition is really heating up in this segment. And here's the thing, it also comes in a full power version and a learner approved version in Australia. I actually did 4 separate takes on this with variation and stuff ups. Nerves, eh? The rest of the day consisted of some great riding, a pub stop for lunch, and a chance for me to give my thoughts on camera. My second effort was much more natural and I really enjoyed it. It rips, it's torquey, you can cruise on it, probably lean that way, but this is unique in that it's a triple. Remember those tracking shots from early in the day? Well, we did more on the way home, but slightly different. Look how much the videographer goes above and beyond to get these shots. Our man does this for every rider. Legend. We headed back to base and then it was time to head home. For me, that involved an hour trip to Melbourne, but my flights were delayed, so I walked around Melbourne for a few hours. All right, everyone, the launch has ended. Everyone's given the bikes back and headed home. I have to fly home and my flight's been delayed, so I'm now in Melbourne. How nice is it? Man, I've only been here once in the past. It is sensational, everyone. Stopped, had a quick couple of pints, and now it's time to go and catch my flight. Better not miss it, eh? That'd be awkward. I think I might get divorced if I do. All right. Got home a bit before midnight, so there are some big days, but it didn't bother me at all. I loved the experience.
it hard to keep it on the right side of the road? Or?
Okay, question time. These are questions that you guys have asked. The first one is the most asked question. Did I get paid? No, I did not get paid. However, my flights, food, and accommodation were paid for. In all honesty, if they weren't paid for, I wouldn't be able to do these events. I can't afford it. So it's really appreciated. I'm very thankful. Probably the bigger question is, can people's opinions be swayed by fancy accommodation and other niceties? 100%. From what I can see though, for people on this event, it was just part and parcel. Like they've done it tons of times. I was the rookie there. Everyone else there's done a heap of events, and this kind of stuff is kind of expected, if that makes sense. End of the day, for people on the launch and myself, we need or want content, and the brand is supplying content by doing the launch. Sure, it costs them money and flights and accommodation, but when you think about it, I've only got to sell one bike from a review or something like that, and I'm paid for. Also, to ship a bike up to me from Melbourne to Brisbane, Queensland, that's probably more expensive than sending me down for the event and putting me up in accommodation. So that's something to consider. Can you ride the bike how you want? Bloody oath. Once I got comfortable, I was doing wheelies and even did a half-assed burnout. I was a bit hesitant as I'm the new guy, and I was like, hey, can I do a burnout? And he's like, yeah, go for it. So I didn't fully smoke it up, but look, you can ride however you want as long as you're not an absolute idiot and you don't bin it and be a complete tool. Did it change the way you review? Yes, but not how you think. For me, my review is pretty well exactly how I do a normal review. The same flow and how I form my opinion. Basically, I rate bikes on, are they worth your money compared to the competition? I just did that as usual. I tried to be quite business-like in the way I ran the weekend. What was different is they had a videographer and a photographer. So I was being filmed when I did my review, and they take B-roll, like footage of you riding and slow-mos and stills when you're riding. So they send that to after the event. So that makes things a fair bit easier, but it does take a bit of time to go through them. Are there any directives on what content to highlight? No, not at all. Do they check your content? No, they definitely watch it though. So you got to do a good job. Next question is a great one. It is, do they share useful insight beyond the marketing message? A lot. On the Triumph launch, we had a detailed presentation about the changes, who buys the bike, the demographic, what bikes they're coming from, and how it's going for Triumph. They even gave an insight as to riders' backgrounds and previous bikes they had in the past in their experience. We were then able to speak with the head of Triumph Australia and pick his brain a little bit. And then we actually spoke to the head of marketing in Triumph UK at their headquarters. He was fantastic. He basically said that, look, we made these changes based off customer feedback. I think every change they made was based off that. We were also able to give him feedback on things we think should be changed. And, actually be critical on a couple of things in the bike. Sure, some of it was marketing wank, like he's got he's head of marketing for a brand. You have to read between the lines here and there. But that was fantastic to pick his brain. On another launch I've done since, along with the usual stuff, they talked about who buys the bike and why they do, and also the whole design ethos of the bike. So yes, they do go into a fair bit of detail beyond what you'll see just on websites. Next question, can you get uninvited if you don't review well? I'm going to tie this in with my next question as they go hand in hand. And that question is, can you be critical? 100%. However, you must articulate why. You can't just go in being a dick saying this is crap and not give reasons as to why or sprout the wrong information. If you watch my review for the Trident, I was actually quite critical of some areas on the bike. I was polite about it, but I was nitpicking, and at one point I even recommended another motorcycle. the competition, some of it is a little bit cheaper, like that Suzuki 8S. That 800 motor is fantastic and has very similar features to this, except cruise control. Which brings me back to the previous question. If you're a dick or can't articulate why you don't like something, or you're blatantly saying the wrong information, yeah, there's a fair chance you're going to be uninvited for future events. One thing you must consider, and I haven't considered in the past, is how much money a brand puts into advertising on a website or magazine. Bear in mind that advertising equals money. Which brings me to the sponsor of this video, me. If you haven't, please click that subscribe button, use my affiliate links and buy some of my merchandise. Yes, I have merchandise now, the link's there. Let me know how it goes if you go through that. It really helps the channel. And by subscribing, you also help me get more bikes to review and help me get on more motorcycle launches like this. If you got any questions about the motorcycle launch, put them down below. I'm an open book. I'll answer them. And as I said, if you haven't clicked that subscribe button, check out my other content. I've done a couple of launch videos. Check them out and it'll give you a bit of an insight into the background of this video. I've used footage throughout from those launches, but check them out. All right, keep it on the back wheel. Catches.